Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Leo. Welcome to another video. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about how I got 2 houses for free. And if you stick to the end, I'm going to share with you a tip and a trick that I use with other properties to get money out of a couple of properties and use it to reinvest in other properties. So stick to the end and I'll share it with you. So let's get into it. So now the first trick that I used with my primary residence, and I know there's a lot of hearsay going on with,
don't buy a funeral property. A regular house loses money. It's not an asset.
Yeah, I heard that before, right? But guess what? The reality is if I've lived in my house for 17 years. I haven't moved from my house in 17 years. The amount of equity that I built up in my house is tremendous, okay? So over the years, as I paid down my small interest, when the pandemic hit, my house went up in value even more. So what I did was I went to the bank. I actually used Citizens Bank. They were phenomenal. I called them up and I got a home equity line of credit. A home equity line of credit, it's called a HELOC. No, it's not a dinosaur from Paleolithic time. It is a type of loan. It's called a home equity line of credit. It's basically like a credit card, and it's usually at 70 to 75% loan to value of your house. So what I did was I pulled out a home equity line of credit on my property, which is considered a second position loan on my house. And then I took that money and I bought 2 Airbnbs with it. Yes, that's what I did. And now that small payment, I did an interest only payment, which is about $500, $600, something like that, right? What I did was I was able to take that money. I bought 2 more Airbnbs, which cash flow, the amount of money that it cash flows, I could pay the loan back 2-3 times over. So I literally leveraged that money from my primary home and bought 2 more investment properties, which those 2 investment properties are now increasing in value as we speak and cash flowing at the same time. So technically the rent from the Airbnb is paying my loan, which I'm paying a little bit more at the end of the year. I've sent lump sums or whatever you want. I do the interest because it's a small amount. And I'm basically getting it for free. Then what I did was I took my first mortgage and I refinanced it again and saved the same amount of money on my payment as the interest was for the second loan. So technically I am paying the exact same payment, both of them combined, than I did in the beginning when I started. So I hope you guys follow that, right? So basically I didn't pay any more money out of my pocket. I used my house's equity. I was able to get 2 properties that are paying themselves, and I'm increasing my net worth. Tremendous. Like, it's just, I mean, it's called not using your own money. That's another tip my dad always told me. He's like, and my dad was an Italian immigrant. He passed away recently. And this is the reason why I started a channel, right? To help people like you. You know, maybe you're out working a job like I did. I worked a job for 25 years, right? I was doing HVAC for a long time, so I learned the ins and outs. So maybe you're out there and you're like,
Oh, I'm in the rat race. I'm making some money.
as long as you're in the game, what I learned in real estate is that you got to be in the game. You're not going to time the game. Just get in, buy something, because it's going to go up. If you look at a macro chart over the last 50 years, it's like this, down, up, down, but guess what? It trends up. Basically, it goes up. So eventually, the hedge of inflation is real estate. And I know tons of people. I mean, you always hear the stories.
When I was young, I bought that house for $10,000.
And now what? These that's worth like 150 or 200,000, right? You hear all these stories about all these old people.
Man, I wish I bought that house for that cheap.
Well, guess what? Now's your chance, because now with this inflation, they printed 40% more dollars, and I would guess from all the stories that my dad and a lot of old timers told me about the 70s, a $12,000 house in the 70s was a $50,000 house in the 80s because of inflation in the 80s. So just let that sink in for a second. That's almost 4x. So if we're looking at houses now and they're $500,000 and prices are going up 20, 30%, right? And they keep going up. I got a feeling that property is gonna double or triple. It's quite possible. So get something, get in the game. It's not, I don't see the crash that people are talking about coming. There's just such an enormous amount of demand right now. So that's my humble opinion. Another thing that I did, there's another loan called, and I'm sharing this tip with you guys too. Let's say you have a property for like 10 years, and let's say it's a multi-family. You can also pull money out. Let's say,
Hell, Leo, I don't like home equity line of credits. I'd rather do a cash out refi.
well, a cash out refi is another type of loan. So a cash out refinance is basically you get a house, and basically let's say you only owe $100,000, but the house is worth $500,000. You cash out refinance, you pull money out of that. So you get up to about 70, depending on the lender, 70 to 75% loan to value, and they basically write you a check. It's a loan, tax-free, and hopefully you're refinancing for a lower rate because your rate is higher, and you're able to pull that money or that equity out, and then you get a lump sum, and you don't have to pay it back like a home equity line of credit. A home equity line of credit is basically like a credit card. So the actual cash out refi is just another method of getting these big lumps of cash, and then you could take that money and you can go invest in it. So you want to buy Bitcoin, you want to buy more rentals, that's what I did. I bought another 2-family. And those are some other tips that I can give you, how to purchase houses in a really crazy market. So that'll probably be my next video that I share with you guys, maybe how to buy real estate in a bananas market, my tips and tricks. So stick around and click up here or over here, and that'll be the next video. So talk to you later, and see you in the next video. Bye.